Hello, everyone. I'm Michelle with IELTS Advantage here today with another success story. Today, we're talking to Enrico. So Enrico is going to tell
Good
us a
morning.
bit about his IELTS journey and his experience so that you can learn from him and be successful yourself. So hi, Enrico.
Hi, good morning.
How are you doing today?
I'm fine.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Can you introduce yourself to everybody?
I am Enrico. I'm currently a student. I'm studying computer graphics, visual effects for film and television. And I took the IELTS test on the 11th of July. It went very well. And I managed to fulfill the entry requirements for my university. And now I'm ready to start studying in the UK.
So what scores did you get on your IELTS test?
So I got a 7.5 on average, 7 in writing, 7.5 in reading and listening, and 8 in speaking.
So had you taken the IELTS test before?
No, that was the first time that I took the IELTS test.
So when you were preparing for the test, was there anything in particular that you struggled with or that you found difficult?
Yeah, I struggle with task one, writing task one, for two main reasons. The first one is that I was kind of used to use fancy words, not to impress the examiner actually, but just because, I don't know, my brain found them beautiful to use. I'm used to do that even in my own language, in Italian, but the big difference is that in my own language, I know all the contexts that are related to those words. In English, is something different because maybe a word can have different meanings and can be used in different contexts. And for example, I remember submitting an essay to maybe Jason and about athletes, sports, and I used the word which is agonist, which is in my own language, agonist means can also mean professional athlete, but it doesn't in English. And I don't know why. Maybe because it just came naturally to use. I used it, and Jason told me that it was completely wrong in that context because in English, agonist, I don't know. I knew that it actually exists, but maybe in a completely different context. So that was an example, and so what I would recommend is just follow the 100% rule, like everywhere, because I mean, if you're not sure of a word, you're probably going to get it wrong. And I mean, you should know at least the meaning and at least one context in which that word can be used in, because otherwise you're going to get it wrong. And another problem with task two was idea generation, because at the beginning, I mean, it took some time to actually convince myself that the IELTS test is not a content test, but it's a communication test. And so at the beginning, I struggled a lot with like trying to figure out what to write, and I just wanted to write something very, very complex, and even sometimes even more than like 2 ideas, which is a lot, because obviously you can't be clear if you have a lot of ideas to develop. You don't have enough time to develop them. And once I started to like develop very simple ideas, because I mean the problem is not how many ideas you have and how simple they are, but is how you develop them. So
Yeah,
if
I
you
think
have
that's a great point, Enrico. So a lot of students, I think, make unnecessary mistakes with.
exactly, me too at the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when I started to keep them simple, I mean my scores improved a lot. And actually, I struggle with a task two till the very end, because I mean, I found that section the most difficult. I mean, that's a personal opinion. But actually, during the IELTS, I found the real test a little bit more difficult than the official practice test that I taken at home. Not because the VIP course is not effective, I would recommend it to all the students because it really helped me a lot. But because, I mean, it was super hot. We had to wear masks for like a lot of hours. There was a terrible delay, so we started the test like 1 hour after the scheduled time. So, I mean, those are normal conditions that can happen in every test. And it really, I mean, it depends on how your brain reacts to a certain situation. So I would recommend practicing under exam conditions, just to make sure that you know exactly how your brain reacts to that stressful situation. And
Yeah,
also,
stress, when you're under stress, you really have to rely on your training.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. And also to make sure that you are not underestimating or overestimating the test. You know what to expect from the test.
Yeah. So what did you find most difficult with task 2? Was it the idea generation? Was it how to structure your answer? Was it vocabulary? Was it grammar?
Maybe idea generation at the beginning, not the structure, because I mean, I found the structure that Chris teaches in the VIP course very, very effective. They're very clear. They are not tips or tricks. It is just a strategy that is useful, but obviously you have to practice a lot in order to get the scores that you need. And also sometimes vocabulary, because I mean, if it's something that deals with maybe economics or politics, I mean, I know that the questions are not that difficult. I mean, the main aim of the IELTS test is not to test the content, but the communication. But sometimes I remember that I needed maybe some specific vocabulary that I didn't have. And so in that sense, watching a lot of videos on YouTube in English, or watching TV shows in English really helped me out. Because I mean, I started watching TV shows in English like 2 years ago, and yeah, it was very, really helpful, because they kind of accustomed me to use English, to think in English maybe every day for some time.
Yeah, I think
So
that's
yeah,
a great idea, right? Learning to
yeah,
think in
exactly.
English.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and actually, I've been doing that for 2 years, and I didn't start watching them for like specifically for the IELTS test, but because I simply like love the language and I wanted to become fluent in English. I mean, I'm still not fluent, but I think that I've made big improvements over the past few years by just watching videos in English, real conversations, something like that.
Yeah. So we've been talking about the writing. How about the speaking test?
So actually, at the beginning, I thought it was a little bit more difficult than it is, what it is really, because I mean, during high school, I used to get higher scores, higher marks in writing than speaking. And actually, it was not that difficult. I mean, once you understand um, how it is structured, the three different parts of the speaking test, I mean, you just have to talk naturally. You don't have to talk too much, because you in that way you're probably going to say something that is not relevant to what you are being asked. But if you just talk naturally and you know what to expect,
Yeah.
you won't have any problems.
When you were preparing for the speaking test and when you were practicing, was there anything in particular that we told you to focus on or to work on?
Uh, yeah, actually, yeah. During the mock speaking test, I was told to not to speak a lot, because I tend to maybe speak for 4, 5, even 6, 7 sentences, which is too much. You just have to answer naturally to the question with like 2 or 3 sentences, but you don't have to like count all the words of the letters of the sentences. You just have to answer naturally. That was my main problem, because I mean, I didn't have any other problem during the speaking test. So
Yeah.
I think it depends on the people, obviously, on the different like person, on the students.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. every person will have something different that they need to work
Yeah.
on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's excellent. That's excellent advice for everybody who's listening, Enrico.
Thank you.
And so now that you've got the scores that you need, what are your plans for the future?
So my plans are to study in the UK. I'm leaving on the 4th of September, if everything goes well and coronavirus will let me. I mean, I think that in the UK, the situation is now, like, if not stable, like better than in the past, I think. I'm not updated, but I very much hope that I will be able to go to London.
That's great. That sounds excellent. Well, thank you so much, Enrico, for your time.
Thank you, Michelle.
Yeah, everybody's going to appreciate the advice. That's great.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Enrico. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, Chris here again. Hopefully you enjoyed that success story video. That student was part of our IELTS VIP course. And on that course, we show students exactly where they're going wrong and exactly what to do to get the score that they need. And we give them all the help and support that they need in order to get a 7, 8, or even 9 in their IELTS test. Now, we only work with a really small number of students. Because of the level of help and feedback and support that we give students, we can only work with a very small number of them. But we also have more success stories than any other online or offline course in the world, which has created a huge amount of demand for our course. So we're the only course in the world, I believe, that has a very long waiting list. If you want to join that waiting list, all you have to do is just click here and you'll be able to add your name, add your email address, and then when one of our students becomes successful and leaves the course, the next position can be for you. Hopefully see you in there. Bye-bye.